Hey guys, it's Dandy. Today I'm going to answer one of the questions that was on one of my videos. I recorded this actually a little while back with Master Hook and we lost the file. So I do apologize for the delay. This is on my first video about being an alpha and a slave. This question is from Cute Kitty 018, and there's a whole bunch of paragraph here, but the question was, any advice on how I can work on mentally shifting to a, slave state of mind? She states that she, lives with her fiance, with their family, and she identifies more as a Wolftherian. She's struggling because her master wants more control, but she identifies as being independent. So, again, some of these thoughts I've talked about with Master Hook on the video, so some of what I'm relaying is some of his thoughts as well, but just our general thoughts and my thoughts. So, I'll read the whole thing, I guess, just so you guys have a better idea. So it says, I find your take on being an alpha and being a slave very interesting. I feel like I'm an alpha because I'm very independent and I'm kind of used to doing my own thing. I'm just used to taking care of everything myself. I'm having trouble because my fiance and I have been trying to get into an MS relationship, although I'm more of a pet than slave because I am a Wolftherian, and I struggle because my master wants control and I'm just a little stuck in the independent, I gotta take care of everything state. Any advice on how I can work on mentally shifting to that state of mind? Side note for background information, my family is also demanding we live with my parents and brothers, so we can't really practice often, and we both are really want that kind of relationship to work. We have been trying for a good 1.5 years now, maybe 2 years. So, there's a couple of pieces of this. The first piece is my question. I have a couple questions for the person that asked. So, if you identify as a Wolftherian or a pet, my question is, do you want to be in an MS relationship? Is it something that appeals to you? Or are you simply just having a problem because you feel this independent side of yourself? So you're saying that that your partner wants to be your master and wants control, but that you're stuck in feeling independent. I just want to know what your desires are. Because if your desire is to, or you identify, have a place within yourself that you identify as being a slave or identify with that, then awesome. I think that's, if we're going with that answer as the answer, then it takes time to fall into a dynamic and to really work those things out. I am, like I said in the video, I'm very independent, and I'm very alpha to most people, but this is an aspect of my personality and of who I am that especially comes out when I trust somebody, right? So, my best advice is, either way, so that's one piece. If you don't really identify with being a slave or really want an MS, but you enjoy some type of power exchange, that's okay too. But what I'm about to say is for both of those answers, both if you do identify as a slave and want that, and both if you don't. Talk to your partner as a human. Have a table, which is where you sit literally as two people and you talk about this stuff. These are very useful, very healthy. No power exchange, just two people talking. And really figure out what you guys really want. What do you really want? What does he really want? And what is reasonable when you're living in this situation with your families? Because obviously, certain things are going to be really difficult to do when you're living with your family. Some of the sexual stuff, some more of the control stuff, power exchange stuff can be a lot harder. Like Master Hook, one of the things he loves me to be naked. If we were living with my parents, clearly wouldn't be able to do that. So, but there's still other ways that I believe you can do this, even, covertly while you're living with your family. But really the conversation of having a very clear, concise, open-hearted conversation with your partner about what you both want and what will work for you, because you can still identify as a pet or a Wolfderian and, you know, have some type of power exchange relationship or something that works for you and also maybe fills his needs. But, you know, or maybe you're his pet, but you call him master. I mean, there's a lot of things. So one of the other main things is nobody's dynamic looks exactly the same. That is the beauty of what we do. You take two or more people, and create a dynamic. And it's an individual dynamic. So just because, you know, people, when they meet me, are like, no way you're a slave. I can't even see that. But I am. And, you know, I have this relationship. And ultimately, as long as I'm in a safe, sane, consensual, healthy relationship and dynamic, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So even though my opinion really is to talk, I guess. I'm not really judging your situation, because it's not my right to judge your situation. And I really genuinely wish you the best with that. And if you have any other questions, I am more than happy to give my opinion. But I think that being really honest with your partner and yourself about where you're at and what you really want is very important. And as far as if you are desiring to change your mental state, shift your mental state, that kind of goes into like subspace, or also, you know, being in a more serving mentality, which is that could be a very long video. One of the things I would say is if you like that space, and go get in a scene with your partner or do something that gets you in that space, and then try to stay in that space for a little longer. Like, kind of push yourself to stay there a little bit, not unhealthily, but the headspace thing, and also just being generally in the way of being a person that likes to serve and help others. That's kind of how I naturally am. But getting into my actually very slave, submissive self, it is a little, I wouldn't say it's a lot of work, but it is a different side of myself, like I stated. So I would say try to not focus, but get into that space with your partner, whatever that is that you guys discuss and agree upon. So thank you as always, everybody, for listening. Love to hear from you. Love to hear your comments. Please subscribe, share this with anybody that you think it will resonate with. I just would love to get a community of slaves and people talking. So, love and light, guys.